What's going on, guys? So basically, this is another video, right? And today we're gonna be talking about my Apple Watch Series 3, alright? So let's get right into this. Okay, so the Apple Watch Series 3. Good presentation, freaking has this type of presentation. So it's very nice, it's super nice. And I've liked it every time that I use it, right? Had it for 2 years now. It's been a good watch. It hasn't been bad at all. And I really would recommend it, I'd recommend it because it's a good watch. You can text from it, you can answer calls, whatever you want to do with it. But today I'm gonna list my pros and cons for y'all. So pros and cons of the Apple Watch. Let's start with all the pros, all right? So the pros of the Apple Watch, right? The pros, you're able to call, you're able to text, it's basically a mini phone. You can go without your phone and you can literally just run this and you'll be fine, right? So that's a big pro. Did I ever use it like that? No. Right? I never used it like that, but you can. I never put it to carrier because I don't see the point in that. You're just gonna be paying more money. But if you have the money, go ahead, do it. Please do it. But anyway, this watch, it's definitely a watch that you'd want to wear, right? It's definitely something that looks like, oh, nice, And they make so many watch bands. That's also another pro. More watch bands. You can customize it any way you want. And I've been using a chain link, but this is because I'm selling it. So, I mean, it's a very good watch, And even for another pro is that you can have your music on it. You don't just have to use Spotify, and you can download music and just listen to it on your watch. You don't even have to worry about listening to it on your phone. So yeah, you can run with this. I like running with it instead of using my phone in my workouts, because when you just have this, it's very limited. You're not gonna feel the urge to text. You're not gonna feel the urge to call. You're not gonna feel the urge to do anything but just work out. So definitely in that way, this thing is a beast. So if y'all want to use it when you're starting, I say for starting out, like people that are starting out in the workout, I definitely say it's worth it. But let me just give you a little example of one of my little cons, because after all those good things, you have to have something bad with it. There's always something bad. Also, yeah, let me just start with one because I was going to tell you another one. So you have the watch on, right? Looks nice, right? So while you're working out, right, these are grips, right? And they help your wrist. So let's see how it looks when you put it on. Okay. So you put it on. I put it on like that, right? Do you see the problem? So, and that's not just that, man. Freaking, yeah, some people will be like, man, work out raw. I don't want to kill myself, okay? But seriously, man, you can't put anything on. Like, I have straps, the ones that cinch down on your wrist that get tight, they wrap around the bar. Can't even use those right. And if you are using them, they're pressing against here and they're changing your music, they're changing everything, and it's ruining your workout. So that's definitely something that you want to look into and be like, do I really want this or not? So that has been always like a thing for me that I'm like, I don't like it. So it was a bright side of the watch. I'm not gonna lie. But once you start using equipment because you're going into higher weight and you don't want to hurt yourself, that will happen, and you could potentially break your watch. So yeah, that's not a preferred thing. And let me take this off because I just cleaned it. You don't want anything to mess up. But that's one of the cons. Another one of the cons, I'd have to say, battery life. And everybody talks about battery life, and supposedly the 3 is better than the 4 and 5 in battery life. But I think it's because of the always on display, and I like always on display. That's what I'm trying to get. And so far, I'm looking at the TicWatch Pro. Either TicWatch Pro or TicWatch Pro 2. So one of those I'm going to get, right? And I just think it's kind of dumb, man, because why do you have to have a terrible battery life, man? Like, you see all this and you see it's thick, right? So even the bottom part being thick, like if I show you all this, it seems like you can fit a pretty good battery in there at least. And this is where my like knowledge of what's it called over tech and everything comes in. If it at least had an 1,500 milliamp battery, you'd get at least 3 days out of this. 3 days. But I'm pretty sure it only has like a 600 or maybe a 500. So it's definitely not enough battery. And yeah, you're like, well, you can't just make the whole thing a battery. Yeah, but the screen in OLED, they're super thin. So the screen should be that big, right? And the buttons, you shouldn't even have to make that complicated. Yeah, you want to make them feel nice, of course, but you shouldn't have to make them that complicated. And the battery could be as thick as this. You get me? So I think it's kind of dumb that they didn't work on it. So that's another con, right? And another con that I have to say, it is good for waterproof. Like it's worked. I can't swim, right? I can't swim. I'm gonna let y'all know that I can't swim, but I can go in water, right? And I can use in water and it's fine. But is it preferred for using for calls after that? No. I mean, it works, but the more you keep on going in and out of the water, the more I feel it's just gonna start to deter. So I think it's not that smart of a move, but I want to see if it worked because it literally claims on the back water resistance somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Stop focusing on me, bruh. Please. Let me see. And it's not wanting to focus. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, water resistance 50 meters is what it says right here. I don't know if that's popping up. Well, it's not. It's not popping up. But anyway, it says it's water resistant 50 meters, right? I don't know what 50 meters means, man. Because I think the same way, like, yeah, maybe the pressure gets to it, but I think maybe the same way is it just goes in, and I think if you keep it in the water long enough, it's gonna mess up, right? So that's what I think in my head, right? But if you're like being active, then I think it's totally worth it. You can splash it or whatever, and it's gonna be fine. So definitely, I would say it's decent, but your calls aren't gonna be that great. And another thing, who uses this to call? Really? I don't use it for calls, man. I tell you what, it has about 20 or 30 apps, something like that. And I only use 3. And that's kind of sad, man, because they make all these things, but it's like the things that you want to see when you first get it. Like, oh, it has a heartbeat sensor. Let me click that. Oh, it has a tracking, like, what's it called? A cyclist thing. Let me see that. Oh, it has GPS. It has a timer. It has a PowerPoint thing. Okay. Like, it isn't like, oh my God, like, I can actually use this, you know? Man, that looks swole. Look at that. Anyway, it's not a thing where you can just use it, right? So it's not a daily thing that you're going to be using all those 20 apps. Some people, they use the mail. Some people use GPS. I've been using GPS, and GPS works pretty good, but it's not enough for me to be like, let me keep it, you know? And I'm only using the 3 apps. So my next like build, I'd say, that I want to get is something that has always on display, because it doesn't have that because it's Series 3, and something that can actually handle always on display. And what I'm looking at is the TicWatch Pro. Like I previously stated, it has it where, like, imagine it's a circle, right? It's a circle. It's a nice circle, and it has the fancy watch faces like Apple Watch does, but it also has always on display whenever you don't want to use it, and it looks like a Casio watch but fancy. So I really vibe with that. Like, I really like the way it looks. It's not anything that looks like I wouldn't want to wear that, right? So I think definitely it's a nice thing. And another con that I'd have to say about it is play music. And you're like, well, it's a pro and a con, right? Because you're playing the music and you're getting into it, but also while you're getting into it, say you bump into something. Like, say if I bumped into my bed, I bumped into a door, bumped into a chair, whatever, and you just bump your arm like casually, it skips that song. So while you're jamming out, you're feeling it, it skips it. And you're like, damn it. So you don't want to go back to it. You don't want to be like, let me just retry and relive this moment, because you don't have that moment again. So it's like, man, you just messed it up for me. So that's definitely something that I really want to leave off that watch, because it always goes into now playing instead of going to the main home screen. So I'm like, why won't you be where you show time? Instead, you show it in a little corner instead of showing it like a big time to watch. It's not iPhone. And I think that's what they're trying to push, that it can be used as an iPhone, right? And it can, but I don't want to focus more on my music more than seeing the time, because it's a watch. So say you're trying to get a quick workout in, and you're like, if you just look at it, and the one I'm getting, you can just look at it and it says the time. It's like, okay, I can get that quick workout in, I can fix my times, right? But with this one, I have astigmatism, right? And if y'all don't know what that is, it's progressively blindness, right? So you get blinder, until I get surgery or whatever, which I'm getting next year for my birthday. Merry Christmas to me, right? But I'm not gonna go into my surgery. Like, I'm not gonna go deep into what I want to do. But with the watch, you would expect it to say the time as big as you have it on the screen, right? Like, say the time and then have your little information of the music. Because I have that one that's the modular or whatever, and it has your time right here, and it has the music right here, and it has text, call, and it has the weather, whatever, right? And it has the basic stuff, so I'm like, I like it. But when I go up, literally all that's in the little baby corner right here, man, that's your time. And I'm trying to look at it, and me not having the best vision, right? Not having like the best, like, I can see that, right? It doesn't work. It really doesn't work, because I'm trying to see it, and I have to be like, oh, it's 10, and that's a pay thing, you could say. But come on, man, like, I bought this so it could be used as a watch, and instead it's not being used as a watch, you get me? So that's another thing that I don't like. And one other thing, and it doesn't happen a lot, right? It doesn't happen a lot, but it can definitely happen if you don't know what you're doing. So you're trying to turn this off, right? I was trying to turn it off for some reason, I don't know why, but it already turns itself off because it dies every day. So I don't know why I was trying to turn it off. I think it was like 5 months into owning this watch, so I was still new to it. I didn't know what to do with it, whatever. But whenever you're trying to turn it off, you hold the power button, right? And right now it's dead, so I'm not gonna show y'all. But you hold the power button and it prompts up 3 things, right? So Apple, at the Genius Bar or whatever, they made a smart decision of putting SOS on top, right? That's useful, right? And then they put the power off, and then they put medical, whatever. Why did you have to put them all sliding? First of all, like, they have so much space that isn't used, right? So I'm like, why don't you put it right here, like SOS or whatever, and have the power off down here so it's away from it? But no, they didn't think of that. Instead, what they did is put the power off right in between. So me, being the happy little kid I was when I had it, I was like, oh, let me do this. And then I'm just turning it off. And then it starts making a noise like it's calling the cops. And I didn't know what that noise was at first, because you don't know until you've done it, right? So it was making a loud ass noise, and I was like, damn, like, this is really going crazy, and I don't know what to do. And I didn't know how to stop it. So I'm just like, okay. And then it's calling the cops. I'm like, damn, like, I need to change it. So then I'm trying to turn it off, right? So then I turn it off, and then I'm like, okay, I should be fine. 2 minutes later, this was 3:47 a.m. I kept it in my mind, right? Talent. Anyway, it was 3:47, and cops are banging out the front door, saying, open up, let us in. So, like, oh my God, bro. So my dad, he comes, right? And I'm scared. I'm shaking. I'm like, damn, like I messed up. And I see him, and me being the compulsive liar I was, right? I was saying like, no, I didn't do anything, but I came out, right? And the cops were asking, and they're saying, well, the number that called was 956. I'm not gonna say the rest, right? And I just gave y'all my area code. That's tough. But anyway, he said it was that, right? He said it was my number. He repeated my exact number. I'm like, yeah, thanks, man. Like, so I was there in the back, and my dad's like, seriously? He's like, you called the cops? And I'm like, no, I didn't call the cops. And I didn't know at the time, but still, you have some idea. And if the cops are there, you call the cops, right? So me being the liar I was like, no, I didn't call the cops, but I called the cops. And being that I did call the cops, then it started going all crazy, and then we had to settle down freaking. And I basically messed up my whole family sleep, whatever. And I'm like, why'd you do that? Like, so with the watch, I promise you, anybody that owns the Apple Watch, they're gonna come across that, or they probably already have, where you're gonna call the cops. It's a given. It's gonna happen. But other than that, I'd honestly have to say, aside from all that, I do use it as a daily watch, and now I'm gonna stop using it because I catch myself constantly like with this on, right? And I'm like doing that over and over. I keep on doing that, and you're like, dude, stop doing that. That's nasty. But I keep on doing that because it's like when you have your glasses off and you try and adjust your glasses. It happens so many times because if you're used to wearing glasses and you wear them every day, you're gonna keep on adjusting your glasses. That's just what's gonna happen. And with the watch, I keep on feeling the need to adjust it. So now I look stupid unless if I don't have it on, you get me? And I'll even rock with it on, right? I'll go with it off. Like I'll have it off and it'll still be on me, right? And I'm not using it, I'm just using it for style, I guess, or just to help that fidgeting. I don't know. It's really weird, but it's just a weird whole thing, man. Like, if y'all want the Apple Watch, I would definitely recommend it. I'd say it's good, but know what you're getting into. And it's more just habits that you're gonna get into. The thing that I absolutely love that I don't want to get rid of is the haptic touch thing. When it vibrates on your wrist and it's just like a tap, it's so satisfying, man, whenever you get text. And I don't get like hell a lot of texts. I don't get a lot of texts, right? But when I do, it's like one after another, and your phone's just going vroom, vroom, vroom. And it gets annoying to me now. Like, I'm like, dude, like, shut up. So then I always put my phone on do not disturb whenever I don't have my watch. So I feel the only way to like help me like feel okay and still have time and still have where I can play music, whatever, is have the other watch. I feel that's the only way. And now that I know what I'm looking for in a watch, I know what I want. So yeah, so basically I'd have to say that's the end of this review. Sorry for the long video, it happens like that, but I'm just gonna leave this raw, unedited, because I want to leave it raw and unedited. Because if y'all ever want to see, like if y'all want to go deep into a topic that I'm going into, I'd rather have it like that instead of just a 3-second thing and be like, I called the cops and dip, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna have to say that's the end of this review, and I really hope y'all liked it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with anything, man. And you see that little like button right there? Please hit it, please. I'm pretty sure it's right there. I'm hoping it's right there. But if y'all like this video, please go right there. And there should be a Call of Duty video coming out soon, very soon. Should be coming out right after this video, hopefully. If it didn't, then I'm sorry. But yeah, just like that, I'd have to say this video is over. And you can buy the Apple Watch if you want. If you don't, I agree with you. I don't want to buy it anymore. So, peace.